I experienced the symptoms of bronchiectasis from 9 months when I had bronchitis and pink disease, which is called through mercury poisoning, I assume through teething gel. I also had symptoms of severe sinusitis and also terrible earache as a child. The sinusitis stayed with me, I'm afraid, the rest of my life. I also had pneumonia 3 times during my life, which I think also accounted for some of the symptoms.
My symptoms of bronchiectasis started probably as a child, but they were identified at that time as being asthma or pneumonia related, flu-like symptoms, lots of bronchitis and different sorts of viral infections. But now looking back, it was probably when I was under the age of 3 or 4 that this started to present itself. So the symptoms I experienced being young, I didn't really understand them, but I always had a mucousy and production going on. I didn't have coughs, that was quite difficult to diagnose. And the typical symptoms of bronchiectasis I didn't have. So most of mine were being unwell continuously. I didn't have any response from medication. And also it was just reoccurring pneumonia. So I was hospitalised at least once or twice every year, and it was always just treated as pneumonia at the time.
While I do not know what caused my bronchiectasis, I do know that my mother had it, so I suspect that genetics played a role.
My bronchiectasis was caused by frequent chest infections. Each subsequent infection damaged the lungs.
The onset of my bronchiectasis is undetermined, but the doctors strongly suspect that complications at my birth were the cause.
I coughed for about a year before I was diagnosed, just a chronic cough that went on and on. Luckily, with a high-resolution CAT scan, my bronchiectasis was diagnosed.
I was first diagnosed by a chest physician, and they found out that I had bronchiectasis through a CT scan.
I was diagnosed by bronchiectasis when I was very young. I was only 6 years old when the doctor decided to do me a CT scan to find out exactly what was causing all my respiratory complications.
There's a lot involved with managing my disease. Every morning I walk or jog, and then I come back and do my airway clearance using my devices. And then in the late afternoon, I just repeat it all over again. But the good news is by doing that with the airway clearance, I do feel great. So I really personally, I cannot complain.
Bronchiectasis impacts my life through multiple ways. The frequent chest infections keep me off work. Also, I get tired very easily when I'm unwell. It affects my profession and also my personal life, in that I'm frequently unwell.
It also affects relationships with my family and my husband. And also he's my only carer with very little outside support. So that means his life is restricted. So that makes me feel guilty. And I get very depressed at times when I find that if he wants to go away for a break, he can't, because who's going to look after me? So it does have quite a lot of problems besides just the illness to cope with. I also find the weather affects me. If it's humid or very damp, those horrible, damp, miserable days we get here in England, I find I can't do very much because it affects the breathing. So therefore I have to have a fan to sit in front of to help with the breathing. And during the summer, I have to have air conditioning at night for the same reason. It's not all doom and gloom, you're pleased to know. I still try and live as near normal life as I can. I enjoy painting. And I also do gardening, which is very good for my physiotherapy, because I find bending and moving around is far better than doing breathing exercises all the time.
My hope for the future is that they diagnose bronchiectasis earlier so that the lungs aren't as damaged when diagnosed. Also, that better treatments and education are available more readily.
My hope for the future is to remain relatively healthy for as long as I can.
In the future, I hope to remain as stable as before, to have treatment that help us to fight against infections, and the concern about climate change helps to have cleaner air in our cities.
My hope for the future is that new treatments are developed for this disease that don't have as many side effects as antibiotics, for example, and that the medical community in general is made more aware of this condition as it has impacts on many aspects of our health.
I look forward to World Bronchiectasis Day. I'll celebrate on social media. I'm very active and just shout out to friends. And of course, thank all the researchers and the clinicians who have been making strides in this lung disease. But I also think in the evening, I'm going to pour myself a little glass of champagne and just toast everyone. Thank you so much.
I'm going to be honouring World Bronchiectasis Day by continually to do what I always do now, knowing what my condition is and how to diagnose it, is ensuring people understand it's okay to say that you're not okay on different days. And also, I'm raising a really big awareness into people with lung health. Lung health is exactly like heart health, and I'm really excited that we're having a World Bronchiectasis Day, because even when I've told family and friends, they do not understand or know what the condition is. So having more awareness of knowing what the symptoms are and getting the word out there a little bit more, it may be earlier diagnosed and then obviously a little bit easier for patients to be treated and made to feel more comfortable.
On Bronchiectasis Day, I'm going to be sitting in the garden with a glass of wine, raising it to everybody with this condition and hoping that more help will come to us and that we will be able to all join together like this and have a day when we can discuss how we feel and support each other. And to thank everybody in the medical profession, my family and everyone around us has helped me over the last 84 years to be as well as I am and for the life that I'm living. I also hope the message gets across that we are not alone. There is help out there if we will look for it. And also confirm that I'm still me and have a choice to enjoy my life or not. In spite of having bronchiectasis, or I could give up, but I don't think that's the option. So keep going and thank you.